Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is Brother Franklin D. Roosevelt, a president who perplexed two Supreme Councils, by Brother James A. Marples, 32nd degree, and comes from the January-February 2024 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. In the fall of 1943, Sovereign Grand Commander John Henry Cowles, 33rd degree, began a secret correspondence with his counterpart in the Northern Masonic jurisdiction, Melvin M. Johnson, 33rd degree. The topic was of a personal and confidential matter and involved conferring the 33rd degree, Inspector General Honorary, upon the sitting President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. While the occasion would have garnered great joy and enthusiasm throughout the country, Johnson feared that political differences between the President and his fellow Supreme Council active members would prevent Roosevelt from receiving the high honor and prompt a public relations sensation. In the coming weeks, both Grand Commanders entered a heated discussion regarding Roosevelt's fate. Franklin D. Roosevelt was initiated October 10, 1911, passed November 14, 1911, and raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason on November 28, 1911, in Holland Lodge No. 8, New York City. He petitioned the Scottish Rite on February 28, 1929, and received the 32nd degree the same day. On March 6, 1930, he became a member of Cypress Shrine Center, and on October 30, 1931, he was made a prophet on sight alongside his friend Henry Morgenthau, who would later serve as Roosevelt's Secretary of the Treasury. Further, Roosevelt was also a member of the Tall Cedars of Lebanon and an honorary member of the Grotto and many other Masonic organizations. During Roosevelt's presidency, a delicate question arose. Should he be accorded the 33rd degree? Previously, the honor had been elected upon President Warren G. Harding, 33rd degree elect, but Harding had died before receiving the degree. Harding was a popular president in his lifetime, but the same would not be said uniformly as to Franklin Roosevelt. He had his supporters, and he had his detractors. Technically, since Roosevelt's home Scottish Rite Valley, Albany, New York, was in the Northern Masonic jurisdiction, it was the NMJ that had jurisdiction over Scottish Rite honors. Nevertheless, several active members of the Supreme Council felt that the President had become a lightning rod due to his then controversial New Deal domestic policies. For some Americans, he was regaled as a hero and economic savior. For others, he was ridiculed as a traitor to his class. Fearing the political and social consequences of a blackballed president, Johnson considered reaching out to his counterpart in the Southern jurisdiction. In his book, Lodge of the Double-Headed Eagle, William Fox recounts their discussion. In October 1943, Fox notes, Cowles received a communication marked personal and confidential from Johnson. It was a sensitive matter that Johnson was raising, since President Roosevelt was not universally admired by his brother Masons, many of whom were pro-business Republicans in the North. Yet Johnson saw a great advantage should Roosevelt be given the 33rd degree. If the Southern jurisdiction requested a waiver of jurisdiction from me, I tell you in advance that I will grant it. Unfortunately, the request for a waiver never came. Fearing the consequences and precedent of such an arrangement, Cowles declined, and several other letters were sent back and forth arguing their respective points. Their discussions eventually would turn for naught as Roosevelt succumbed to his health problems in April 1945. Much of the controversy of the New Deal days is gone, and Roosevelt is credited by many for economic recovery from the Depression and widely admired as an effective wartime leader during World War II. Freemasons are proud to count him among the Masonic presidents and as a highly supportive member of many Masonic organizations. Like and share this article And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.